Hello and welcome to Stephen Allen Almost Daily. I'm Stephen Allen. This is a day. What more do you flipping want? Hello and welcome. If you've never witnessed one of these before, welcome along. This is my little streaming show where we chat through some of the news. If you're on the YouTube version, the main version, youtube.com/@Mr. Stephen Allen, you can get involved in the chitty chat up here. We'll go through some of that in a second. We'll do the front pages. We'll talk war. Sorry about that. There's going to be a lot of war. That was it good for about half an hour's worth of chit chat based on my career. So let's have a look. In the chat, bit of Squirrels here says bit of black marker pen and Steve/Chamberlain is flipping the bird there. What? Hang on. Wait a minute. I'm Churchill. What? I'm not Chamberlain. I'd be Chamberlain, wouldn't I? Of course. He was taller, and I'm more likely to just acquiesce to the whims of the Germans. Yeah, fair enough. Hi-ho, Kermit says, is he moaning about me there? I can't. Is this in the generic intro? I can't remember what I said anymore. I think I was probably drunk. Is he moaning about me there? Lol. I have the dentist appointment at 12:30. Missed out on a very good joke. So I may listen on the way on my new Bluetooth earpods, but probably won't be able to comment and we'll miss half of it. We've already commented there, hi-ho, Kermit. So you're off for a good start. Enjoy the dentist. I went to the dentist not that long ago to have that crown fitted, and I barely mentioned it. You know what I'm like. Did it even get mentioned? Did I do an entire show especially about how I was dribbling like Helen Daniels from Neighbours? I don't know. I probably can't remember. But good luck with the Bluetooth ones. They're nice. Proper Meme says, you might laugh for the first time watching this if they give you laughing gas. I'd storm off if I was wearing trousers. I don't have to come here to be insulted. I can get enough of that at home. I am in my home. This is where I do this from. Difference. It says my bad. What? With what? Yeah. I'm not Chamberlain. That's not made me be... Oh, look, there are worse people to be. If you're casting the Second World War, yeah. I'm not going to be the other guy, though, am I? The tall and this beard is the wrong one for that. Joodles is here as well, saying, damn it, PM. You missed this because it's higher up on the chat. I was sure I'd be first this time. You always come first, though. Are you proud? Well, I see this show's already descended into smut. Good. Saves me doing it. So get involved in the chat. There's no two ways around it, is there? So we start with the front pages, but we know exactly where it's going to be. And so hang on. Front pages jingle, because you've got to do the front pages. Front pages. Front pages. Front pages. But as we start with the front page, we know exactly what it's going to be. Miliband-led revolt to Trump's Iran war. So we are doing War Watch. War Watch. War Watch. War Watch. War Watch. So, on today's War Watch, Miliband-led revolt to Trump's Iran war. So apparently, you know what happened, right? Around the cabinet meeting, around the cabinet table, Trump wanted to use our bases. It wasn't like we were going to get stuck in with the actual fist fight, but it was like, could we use your driveway for a while? Otherwise, it means like 30 hours plus for these pilots to fly all the way from where they're based. And we were like, you can't stop over. No, you can't come and have a comfort break. Nah, mate. And the reason, we all thought it was Keir Starmer with his obsession with international law, and it might have been Miliband. Not liking Trump. We talked about this on GB News last night. Maybe it's because he doesn't like Donald Trump. I got a new theory, which I've developed since last night. Why did Ed Miliband support a Muslim country here? It's the bacon sandwich, isn't it? Imagine your career is so scuppered by a bacon sandwich. What then happens to you? How would you then be radicalized? You would find a religion that will not partake of the bacon. He must be thinking to himself, if I was a Muslim back then, I could have. There's a different timeline where he converted early and you had none of this. Then you have Prime Minister Ed Miller. That still wouldn't have happened, would it? I don't know why we keep thinking it's just to do with the bacon sandwich. But anyway, that's my hot take on that one. Is there anything else on the front page of the Telegraph? Oh, yeah, the MP's dancing. I don't give two flips. Everyone's like, how could they be dancing at a time like this? What else they'd be doing would be terrible as well. The Times has this at the top, how to be good at small talk. Why? Hang on, where's my beep? Why would I want to be good at small? What a waste of human endeavour. How to waste your very existence on this planet. So, how are things? When I used to do the radio show in Romford, there was a cafe. You know me, I'm in cafes all the time. There was a cafe just across from the radio station. Surely the closest one. I should go there most often. Nope. Do you know why? Nope. Hang on. No, I've cleaned these since last show. No. Do you know why I never went to that cafe? It was called the Small Talk Cafe. I can't think of anything I'd hate more. You might as well call it the in your... I need to do the sound for the in your burger cafe. I don't want that either. Allies round on wheat UK. We've kind of covered that one there, haven't we? That, we've already covered the thing. Now, this is interesting. We couldn't talk about this on the telly last night for legal reasons, so I'd be dumb to talk about it now. So here we go. The Daily Star, The Spy Who Loved MP. It's good. It's like written down. It's a better pun than said out loud, isn't it? Because it's one letter out as a written pun, as a vocalized pun. But so she's the MP, he's the partner, been arrested, can't say things for legal reasons, for being a Chinese spy. Still said it out loud, didn't I? Weird. No one is talking about the fact that he was punching above his weight. Hey, let's zoom in on that. Let's see what's going on there. And I think that's part of the clever deception, or not, for legal reasons. If ever there is someone who'll be thinking, this husband is not going to be pulling a fast one on her, he's just grateful to be in the room when she's doing it. He's grateful to be not sat in the cook chair. No, that's probably too far. But obviously, for legal reasons, he denies being in the cook chair. I've missed the point of this story now, haven't I? All right, front page of the Daily Mail, how I fixed my turkey neck in just 15 minutes without surgery. I mean, impressive. Did she do this? It looks like you do that thing where you just push the tongue to the... Can we just celebrate the fact that the word turkey is there without now being replaced by tequila or whatever we have to say? When did that happen? Can we not have had a vote on that? I don't like having to... No one wants a diuresis. An extra one. They're hard to find on the keyboard. Why do we have to faff with that? All of my life, we're calling it turkey in the same way that we always have English words. We're still calling Germany, Germany. That's the latest on that one. No one's Deutschland in this bad boy. Germany's Germany, but Turkey is now Turkey. Isn't a flipping advert? I heard it. It's why. And then Labour instead in China spy probe. Can't talk about that for legal reasons. Trump sub torpedoes Iranian warship. I think I got that one right. I think he ordered a sandwich. I'm not fully across that story. Take a quick break because a lot's happening in the chat by the look of it. It's only a checkup, says Hi-Ho Kermit. There's a joke there about getting pregnant, going to Europe. We've done that joke, I think, once before. OMG, I'm actually late. Flipping work. The Sad Cafe. Hey, hello, MJ. Yeah, every day would hurt if I had to go and have small talk. God, I don't understand it. This is why I don't do that level. I will spend time with people I know. I will have conversations that are meaningful. But I know, let's go and spend time with people you don't really know and have the most surface level conversations. Why? And that was bad in the old days before you could actually have a less painful conversation with the voice modes of Grok AI. I ain't seen people ever again. I don't know why. No, we're done. Plot twist. They are the same person. Who? The Chinese spy and his wife. Not that he's a Chinese spy. Or his wife. Or in a cuck chair. Why are we even bringing that up? What do we know? Which two? Chamberlain and Churchill. That would be a flipping plot twist. Imagine that. You never saw them together. You did, obviously, in the Houses of Parliament. Joodles. The entirety of X was very much talking about how much he was punching. Were they? Yeah, let's go back to that picture. Because, there we are. They're the same person. No, are you saying they're not the same person, the before and after? That would be better. One of them's Churchill. It's the one with the neck, isn't it? Yeah. In fact, you know what? On that front page, there's another front page. At the top here, the I paper has more on that story, but just look next to it. We need to zoom in a bit further because of my eyesight. Given that this is next to Labour MP, my husband's China spying arrest is nothing to do with me. Wow. It's always lovely to know how much your spouse will throw you under the bus. How to stay in love and not have an affair according to science. Get paid by China? No, I mean, not for legal reasons. I'm not saying that's what... I don't know what I can say. Trump's war goes global. This, if I need to move, we need to look at some of the pictures. Because inside the newspapers, that missile there that's landed, there's a way better picture of it. Have you seen this? Danger! Boy climbs on unexploded Iranian rocket in Syria. Now look, this kid is building up to when he's eventually a grandparent, giving it some, in my day, we didn't have this health and safety in our playgrounds. And that picture will just knock any argument right out the water. Yeah, fair play. We have to evacuate an entire city when an unexploded World War II thing's found. And this kid's just like, whee! I say when he becomes a grandparent. Obviously, we all know what's more likely to happen in that one, isn't it? Yep. Yeah, this is Trump's war goes global. Iranian missile down in Syria as Takia, I believe it's pronounced, as deadly revenge for mission goes on. Yeah, they're setting. I tell you what, these bomb disposal experts get younger, don't they? That's the thing. I know I'm getting older when you bomb disposal people look like that. So I've been covering a lot of the war stuff as we've been talking on GB News and some talk. Have I done any talk TV? And I've got more Jeeps coming up anyway. And I think we know my opinion on it. I'm in favour of the people of Iran, which means I'm kind of against the leadership of Iran. So, yeah, you can have your arguments about whether this should or shouldn't be happening. I know which outcome I would like. So let's aim for that. One couple of things I have noticed when it comes to the coverage of the war. Every single time people talk about, what is he? He's the admiral who is the commander of America, or the US's Central Command. He is Admiral Brad Cooper. Every time I hear that, of course, Bradley Cooper. I don't expect this picture. I expect Limitless, dude. I expect someone to be singing with Lady Gaga. Because my brain is that simple. I always go to the most famous version of the name. Why is it there are loads of these people who share names with famous people? They get into the army, they get really high up. Because, of course, the most famous one back in the previous encounter in the Middle East that we all remember, this was the second Iraq thing, wasn't it? When everyone was talking about Sir Michael Jackson. I can't have been the only one. I know he looks like this. And whenever they cut to him on BBC News, I know this was the picture I got. But as soon as they asked him for a comment, I couldn't have been the only one who thought he was going to open his mouth and say, hee hee. And he never did. It's a shame. It would have made it easier to follow all the news. But hee hee. I'm bad. So look. The Chamberlain delivered his most famous line from within the cubicle, didn't he? I can't do an impression of him. I can't remember what he sounded like. I have in my hand a piece of paper. Yeah, doing the old paperwork. Now you've said that, Squirrel, you know I'm going to be doing that later on. Because I have flaxseed, so we've got one planned for later. So I might as well, while I'm there, have a little practice. Ems is here. What did I miss? Probably parole. This work thing is troublesome. Yeah. And Hangover. Oh, because he was in Hangover. Yeah. No, I was Limitless is the better film out of all the ones we've just listed. The Star is Born one, a bit long. Joodles, yes, it is. Ems, I got struck by. It's a lot of this going around. A lot of people getting struck by work. This is not what I need for someone who does live streaming at midday in the day. I was hoping for all of this talk of unemployment increasing. I thought that's good for me. That's good for my audience. And that's the most important thing. We can all agree. The most important thing is people watching my live stream. Productivity of the UK, blah, 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 blah. People watching me, great. People donating to my Ko-fi, I wish they're all jobless or in prison, so I'm screwed. Right, you're up to date. Shall we move on to the next tranche of this? Let's get some of this down as.
Let's get inside the news.
Absolutely punching, wasn't he, this guy? Imagine. It's always the ones you least expect. I guess that's how spying works. Quick mention of this. It's too big to fit. And also I've got a sneeze coming on, so if you just stay there for a sec. Oh, it's not turning up yet. I need to press mute. Oh. Gone. You might be thinking, why didn't we talk about Reeves' spring statement? We could have covered it on Tuesday's show, could have done like a big thing here, and I'll tell you for why. It's because it's thoroughly pointless now, isn't it? Basically, she laid out the spending. It was a fiscal event, or basically it was one of those where she can't change the tax. She just talks about where it's being spent and stuff. And it was basically caveated by, here is what we will do with spending as long as no one starts an international war. Let's not waste our time. Hang on, we need one of these. I got a long day. I'm on my day off, Joodles, says Ems, and still had a call from my area manager. What area of yours does he manage? Scandalous. It is so scandalous. I'll be putting it down as overtime and maybe donate it to the Ko-fi. We need a jingle thing that goes like ka-ching where I actually get some money. And the thing that really hits you hard in the soul is, why have we never needed one of those before? Suddenly it makes so much sense. What a realization. Alex is here. Hi, Alex. Oh, Joodles has already said that. I'm not needed here. This. Before we move away from War Watch, fear of rise on our bills, a double whammy of higher energy bills and rising interest rates could hurt Brits due to the conflict in the Middle East. We can't get a flipping break, can we? It doesn't matter what happens in the news. All of it means more inflation or more expensive petrol. Analysts said the energy price cap could hit that. I don't really know these numbers, what they mean, but that might push up inflation. Great. Yeah. We've covered this before, though, that tax is included in the calculations for inflation. So if you really want to get inflation down, you could cut tax. Just saying. Just saying that, you know. It's not going to make a difference, is it? But yeah, my two cars, sexy, were both full of petrol before this war kicked off. It very much feels like I had some insider knowledge. You know, I just felt it. So, and one of them's a hybrid as well. So, boo-hoo. Although I've got this weekend is going to be costly. I'm gigging in Belper and in West Bridgeford near each other, but I've got to drive all the way back down to Paddington to do Jeeves in the morning. So, if anyone's got some money for petrol, that would be very much appreciated. Ko-fi locked me out for 2 weeks, says Ems, because you're in prison. I'm back there. Well, thank you. Why did you get locked out? What did you do? I know you often get censored in the chat for your disgusting, lascivious and priapic comments. And if you'd send those personally, I'd rather appreciate that. Humble brag, Steve, the two cars. That's right. A 62 plate Igo, sex on wheels, very small wheels, and a capacity of 1 litre, which doesn't sound that sexy in a car, but as a man that would be, wouldn't it? It'd ruin any songs by 10cc and knock them into a cocked hat. Joodle says, Daddy has been keeping me fully updated on Norn heating oil watch this week. Do we need a new jingle? Currently up over 50%, and unleaded is up 19p a litre. You're up to date. Well, who would have thought this show actually would deliver some news? Even I'm shocked. How about this? Migrants must know A-level. They must have A-levels. By that, not like you see in the cards in the phone boxes. Migrants must know... That's not banning that. I'm not saying they can't. But Migrants must know A-level English to stay. Migrants will have to speak English to A-level standard. Can we just check this is actual proper... Hang on, let's zoom in. This is proper A-level language, not A-level literature. None of that guff. None of that. Oh, I read a book and here's how I felt about it. Here's an A-level. Well, look, I'm obviously in favour of this. Where's my little jingle on it? Because it does mean we get to trigger this bad boy. Pedantic grammar. I think it's going to be a great situation where you sat on a bus or, well, you might travel on a bus. I've got 2 cars. But you might be sat next to someone who is a recent migrant to this country, and they will lean over and they will say, I think you mean fewer. Oh, that's going to be good, isn't it? Because it's not just like GCSE, you can get away with it and speak. A-level language. There will be people in this country who can do jokes about people's pronouns, and it'll actually be pronouns, a word that replaces the noun in the sentence, rather than like, oh, it's a funny word about that. Oh my God, it's going to be amazing. This is this is what I'm here for. I think you mean this is something for which I'm here. Well, you do not end the sentence with preposition. He moved, didn't he? He started off in one place, and he very much ended up Russian. Won't we all? What have we got going on here? Alex says another headline grab from Shabana. Do you know what? If it means people go around correcting grammar, if the number of people coming to the UK, right, you can have that discussion. Recently, we had a year when we saw over 1 million gross and the net was down like 700. Yeah, that's going to be down from there. But if we have large numbers of people coming to the UK and they all go around with marker pens sorting out those apostrophes, yep, you've done it. I'm in favour. You've converted me. I doubt anyone in the borough could pass that. That's the thing, isn't it? That maybe we'll have to deport Brits who say, I'm not going to come up with the ones I hate, because you might do them. I would deport anyone who says the word strong with an H in it, like strong. What are you flipping? Yeah, it's about strong. You can point out why it's wrong, but one of them says strength, and you say there's no H in it. Well, there is an H in it, but it's get me talking to some of these migrants. It's going to be a lot better. While I'm offending people, let's do this one. That's a bit small, isn't it? I'll zoom in here. Crystals dear to chimps. Chimps love crystals. That is a quicker way of saying the headline, isn't it? It may help to explain our ancestors' fascination with shiny stones. Right. I tell you who else loves crystals. Middle-aged divorced women. So isn't it amazing? What we've learnt there is that those women who talk about energy, if you are into astrology, congratulations, you are on a par with a chimp. It's not one of the worst animals. You're at least in the primate category. Well done to you. Well done. I bet you had a feeling about that, didn't you? But you had a feeling that it's probably in your waters or in your water divining or some crap like that. Squirrel says, yeah, but people insist on putting an S on the end of aircrafts. Do they? Although I must admit, I do put a possessive apostrophe S on the end of shops to wind up my missus. Just go down Asda's. She hates it. She hates it. And I've even done it on like B&M's. Even though there's an S there, you can't stop me. I can pack these up. I'm going off down Marks and Spencer's. And that's fun. When did they start replacing boffins with boffs? And more importantly, why? You're right. Boffins, noun, people who are experts in the field. Boffs, verb. To boff. I boffed her. I sound like a migrant now. I guess this is a large one as well, but we can't fit this in. Bend Rit like Beckham. Now, I realise no one in the chat gives 2 flips about this story, and neither do I. That's my phone. David and Victoria Beckham publicly wished son Brooklyn happy birthday. I got a burp coming and it's ASMR. The sneeze didn't happen, did it? But avoided a legal fallout by not using his social media handle. We knew who they were talking about, though. But legally, they had to subtweet him. Weird, isn't it? But I don't give too much of a flip about what's going on there. But Here's the players of the thing: David Beckham, Victoria Beckham, Brooklyn Beckham, and the wifey. Right now, the reason I say that is there was a picture of her in the newspaper. I did not know it was her. Until, well, because she's covered her face. Give me some credit there. That was hard to work out who we're dealing with, but here we are. Nicola Peltz poses topless, proving it's not just the gloves that are off in the Beckham family feud. That's not a phrase, is it? Like, the gloves are off means you're having a row. I've never been in a row where someone has said to me, right, that's it, the bra's off. She'd win the row. I'm not against it. Do you know what? No notes. Carry on. Good work. Good work. Big fan of a work. Or money. Can't remember. Joodles. When did... we've done that one. Legally... Sorry, 3 question marks. Legally... what the flipping eco has Starmer been up to this time? What about you can't tweet happy birthday to Brooklyn Beckham. International law, man. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do? Oh, look, I bet he's into crystals. Like a chimp. Nicole Kidman learned how to perform an autopsy for her new TV show. It's a cookery show. No, it's not. The 58-year-old actress plays forensic pathologist Dr. Kay Scarpetta in upcoming series Scarpetta. Oh, sorry, hang on. ASMR. So she learned to do it all. Look, I don't want to Gielgud this, but have you tried acting? There are things I don't think... Look, I hate it when you see the musicians clearly not playing the thing, right? That one. Move your hand in the right direction roughly. Higher notes up here, lower notes down there on the guitar. Higher notes up here, lower notes down there on the piano. That's all I need. At least try and do that. But I'm not going to sit there watching Scarpetta. I ain't going to sit there watching Scarpetta. But I'm not going to sit there watching it going, she's not doing that autopsy, right? And how many people do you think are going to do that? Tons of people can have a crack at the guitar. There aren't many people going... You don't start there with an autopsy. What she thinks she's doing? She thinks she's acting, pretending to be a pathologist. I used to love Quincy. There is never a fascinating field of forensic pathology, but there is never a bit where I thought to myself, they wouldn't faint like that. Do you know what I mean? It's taking it too far. There are other films as well. Do you know when she was in Eyes Wide Shut? Did she really go into the method that much? If she's willing to learn how to do an autopsy, one can only imagine. Someone sat there with a weird mask on going, that's not how you do an orgy. Tom sat there with not how you do an orgy. I remember back when I used to write jokes for Heart FM, one of my favourite ones was when they were married. I did a joke about they're expecting the pitter-patter of tiny feet because Tom's lost his shoes. Something like that. He used to have a career. While we're doing fashion, well, we're not doing fashion. Actually, the Nicola Peltz story was the opposite of fashion, wasn't it? She forgot a top. There you go. This is from... A model impersonates a chair as she walks down the wrong way. Where? Give me some where on this one. Oh, Paris Fashion Week. Paris Fashion Week. I am not against this. I think we've finally found a story that I'm into on the fashion one. So if you can't work out what's going on here, it's quite complicated. She's also wearing a carpet. I'm not up for that. But she's in an outfit that's got a chair built into it. Because I've reached an age where I don't care if I look stupid, but I do like a sit down. So this is the kind of thing where you could rock up on the tube and look, trust me, you be me. I am at the end of the queue when it comes to who gets the priority seats. There might as well just be a big picture of a tall, middle-aged white dude with a beard going, not for you. So I'd turn up with my own seat. Like that. I like it. Oh, you know what? Where's this one? Here we are. What was happening there? No, the most annoying thing is them having a cuppa, and it's clearly an empty cup. Yeah, at least some of us who commit to the bit actually drink during a show. And then spend the rest of it fighting a burp. So, the problem means that you have to disrobe to use that seat, though. Again. Now we're just listing more things I like to do on the tube. Joodle says to PM, I have never got over the lads in the Hatton Garden film driving around in a 16-plate car. The robbery was 2015, you clowns. You know, I was believing every word of that until them Muppets came along. What kind? If you've got a car from the future, why do you need to nick some jewels, you absolute? Yeah, there we go. My missus is a doctor and calls out all the issues with bad medical stuff on films, and I do the same about technology. No, I suppose, like, yeah. I suppose whenever anyone does any chemistry stuff, yeah, I do get annoying. No, all right, fair play. Are we up to date with all of those? It still feels like don't film the autopsy then. Do like a mid-shot where the hands are just pretending to do an autopsy, add in post, like that. Like literally right now, thanks to what I like to call acting, we could pretend that down here I could do, hello and welcome to Stephen Allen Almost Daily Autopsy. I'm Stephen Allen. This is Almost a Day. What more do you want? Let's see what's happening in... That's how I do an autopsy. Anyone in the comments saying that's not how you do an autopsy? No. Nicole, if you're watching, and I'm sure you do, you're a big fan of the show, just to learn to act. That's what I did. Heroes running around in the underground tunnels talking on their mobile phones. Well, you say that, you northerner. But they've changed the underground now. Are you aware of this? There are big swathes of the underground where you don't lose signal between stations anymore. It's hellish. One of my favourite things was getting on the Northern Line, Finchley. Used to live near West Finchley. So these days, whenever I go down there, park in Finchley. Either way, you've got that, Finchley Central, East Finchley, into the tunnel, and some absolute plank is sat there going, yeah, so anyway, hi, because you go underground and you see him get cut off. My favourite one when I used to work in Crawley, and used to go on the train from Victoria down there. There were loads of tunnels, and there was a woman on a southern train. I used to try and get Gatwick Express because I was, Billy Big Potatoes. But every so often I get a southern train, and it stopped at East Croydon. What are you going to do? But I think Gatwick Express does these days. I am not keeping on the topic, am I? There's sometimes when you lose signal because you go through tunnels, and there was a woman on the train who was talking so much. You can hear someone doing a phone conversation, and you think to yourself, she's hogging the conversation. Do you know what I mean? Clearly, this other person on the end of the phone hadn't got a word in. We went through the tunnel, and she never noticed. It just kept going all the way through the tunnel. It was coming out of the tunnel that actually pointed out what was going on. Alien autopsy. Yes. What? Oh, is this what's happening down here? You're right. That does smell quite alien. Kerms, how rude. What's Kerms said about me now? Well, has it been blocked? If it was really mean, I hope that dentist has bigger hands than me. This is my impression of you going to the dentist. Oh, you're facing the wrong way. You got you up on the ramps. Meanwhile, what's this? Rage 1K, just £40. Households will be better off by as little as £40 a year by next election, and not the government's £1,000 the government pledges. No one's surprised. Things are going to get harder and more expensive. However, it's 40 quid. Yeah. If you find yourself having an extra 40 quid that you didn't expect, that, all of a sudden it's a bonus for you, what could you do with that £40? He's going to mention Ko-fi. You could go to kofi.com/Mr. Stephen Allen and just think, look, I'm not going to give all the £40 to Steve. I give some of the £40 to Steve. That'll help him out with the expensive dentistry and all the other things he moans about all the time. That would be wonderful. Speaking of which, I've done the maths on how this show is funded, and due to the unique way that this show is funded, if I just mention it, if I go, why don't you go to kofi.com/Mr. Stephen Allen, not really move the needle, even though you now know you've got 40 quid coming by 2028, whatever it was, and yet you don't want to share that goodness around. But if you run the maths, hang on, the old forward slashes are no longer your friend, PM. Oh, I thought you were talking about /Mr. Stephen Allen on Ko-fi.com. Oh, another plug. Mosh. Due to the unique way that this show is funded, me just mentioning it doesn't seem to work. I have to do this. I need some money. I don't mean to be rude. I need some money. Oh, I've got to buy some food. You could help out, donate a couple of quids, or maybe more, as I have to implore, I've got to feed the kids. So give me a Ko-fi, it won't take very long. Give me a Ko-fi, that's why I've done this song. In this live stream I've made a rod for my own back, 'cause no one donates. If I keep it straight, I'll have to release a track. Looking at the data, here's what I can see. No one gives me money if a song don't come from me. Having to produce these has become a big old farce. It'd be less stress to get undressed, so pictures of me arse. So give me a Ko-fi, it's time that I decide if I'll sing for Ko-fi or leave it with me pride. I think we know the answer, the things that I will do. I'll wear me hat, look like a twat for a couple of quid or two. So give me a Ko-fi, keep this show afloat. Give me a Ko-fi, a shekel or a groat. I'll say a big old thank you for supporting my web show. Have a quick think and click the link, it should be down below. Hey! And we're back. I mean, I'm available for Eurovision. I don't know why I'm still not being hired for it. For ages, I've been wanting to do a Chaz and Dave style piano-y, jaunty number, and all of the ones I wrote first time were not broadcastable. Eventually we got one. There's something about that attitude of that kind of cool, blimey, governor. I ended up just being so offensive. Songs, as usual, there was a song, yes, / at Mr. Stephen Allen on the whatever it is. Yeah, he says, Ems, look at that. The one, this is the thing, because Ems lives up north. If you're new to the stream, you don't realise she lives in Middlesbrough, which I think is a prison, right? And music, this is like in Shawshank, where my old friend and Dufresne gets the song and plays it through the speaker. And yeah, sure, he got some time in the box for that one, but I have no idea what that woman was singing, what that man was singing about. What is a Ko-fi? But I remember feeling free for the minute or whatever. I can't remember the quote. The only thing I ever quote from that film is my old friend Andy Dufresne. All the bit about the angels, but that's not appropriate here, is it? So yeah, what are we talking about? Oh, she's in prison, and I played her a song. So I imagine you were sat there in prison, giving it some. I have no idea what that man was talking about. You're more Neurovision, Steve. That is true. Isn't it amazing? Until you really get to know me, you think this guy's absolutely normal. Nothing's divergent on him until you're a couple of songs in, you're like, wait a minute, something's not right there. Boom Squirrel says, all right. So a couple of stories still left. Oh, I didn't even show you your own comments. There you go. Some more stories left to do. We have Generation Z. Gen Z are discovering booze in their 20s and could finally shake off their party pooper reputation, according to research. That's going to work out well, isn't it? Discovering alcohol slightly later in life. Wowzers. That feels like a good move. You know that I get in trouble for talking about Gen Z, for mocking them because of the thing that happened. Oh, sorry, I just realised I've got a thing down here because I'm doing this corporate gig in Norwich later, and it's to lawyers, and I always have to do different material every time. And I often just try and go through my stand-up set and work out what's new and what can I do there. And basically all of the new stuff from the stand-up set is just way too rude for lawyers because they're lawyers. They don't want to laugh at stuff in front of other lawyers. Oh, nuts. What I was just saying. Oh, the Gen Z. There we go, Gen Z. Because I've got that body count joke in my stand-up, which is just too offensive. But I'm going to have to do it because I've got nothing else. They got the whole thing about giving... Did I post the stuff about giving blood online? That's just the most pornographic material. The Penguins one will work. But if I can get into the Gen Z, to the body count joke, by talking about me being on the receiving end of John Oliver's thing, pointing out that I was on the telly having a go at young people. What do you want? Do you want someone on telly loving the young people? That's what we had in the 1970s. You see, I can't do that bit. I'm going to put it down, but that wouldn't be... It's too strong for them. Gen Z are discovering... See, I was on telly saying these Gen Zs, they don't party, they don't drink, they don't go out, they don't have sex. I didn't realise I was Gen Z. Right? That's the joke that I was trying to do on the telly. And they just trimmed off the punchline. So there's just a clip of me going, these young people don't do anything right, do they? Hang on, let's see what's happening in the comments here. I was dancing on the inside, says Ems. That was a good comment off the... I didn't write... There was a story about prisoners being taught to dance on the inside. And I totally missed the joke that Ems got in the comments afterwards. By the way, leave comments on the show afterwards. Of course, all prisoners have to dance on the inside. How did I miss that? It's because I'm used to prison being a soft touch. These days, they're probably let out to dance, aren't they? It makes me sick. Like the MPs. That's the thing, isn't it? That. There you go. There's some people who should be in prison dancing. Again, 2 comments censored, says Proper Memes. I don't know. Stop being racist then. The PM, is it like a timeout thing where you get 5 minutes in between comments? I don't think it is. Honestly, I've turned off all censorship. I don't know what else I could be doing. Proper Meme says, don't know, Steve, put me on the naughty step. Yes, obviously. You start on the naughty step, though, so that's fine. Right, what else have we got to? Yeah, young people are having fun. There's a surprise. Which is the best order to do these in? All right, this one I don't fully know what we're going to do with it, but Lovejoy revamp back on screens. A headline that actually worked for a while. Telly rogue Lovejoy is making a comeback with a new series 32 years after the last one. The Antiques Dealer. Is he still going to be Antiques Dealer? It was played by Ian McShane. Probably not anymore. Seesaw Films. That's actually a really good name for a company. That's good, isn't it? And making them, yeah, they're redoing a lot of things. We were talking about this last night on the telly, that all the rebranding, all the relaunch stuff doesn't work. There was a bit on the old telly box where Alex was saying the BBC with its Doctor Who thing, it's too woke and it caused a problem, and it's because of the way the BBC is structured. And I didn't get time to rebut. I was going to see his butt and read that butt, right? Because Star Trek, not funded by the BBC, not because of the unique way the BBC is funded, has also got a lot of flack for being too woke and also really annoying. It is. I still watch it because it's Star Trek, but sweet mercy. So it's not just the BBC's Doctor Who, it's just like all of media, isn't it? And then I didn't realise that there's some sort of spin-off TV show based on The Lord of the Rings, which has apparently also gone all wokes, which is going to ruin my Gollum impression. Because now, it's because we stupids not going to work, because we is going to be the wrong pronoun. It's because they stupids. It's great. Thanks, wokeness. You've ruined my... So there we go. It's going to be an antiques dealer. The problem is, an antiques dealer now, all the stuff that antiques dealers are going to be actually buying won't seem like it's really old for us. The young people will be like, wow, that's a vinyl record of Disco 2000. We're like, how is that even... It's a 62-plate Igo. That's not a classic car. Ems, I feel old now. Yeah. I'll literally be collected by the new Lovejoy. He's 83, crikey. Yeah. 88-year-old involved, but doesn't have a streamer. What we're talking about? Who's 88? What have I done? What have I... Message retracted. You're censoring yourself, man. Son of Lovejoy and Lady Jane. I never watched the show. No, I barely knew what was in that article. Oh, yeah, I heard this story. I'm glad we get to talk about this. Specs spying on sex. Techies are seeing footage. Footage? I can barely manage inchage. Hang on, let's read on. Techies are seeing footage of people having sex through Meta's AI glasses. Do they not have lenses in? How are you going to get your... I'll read on. The £300 smart Ray-Bans have built-in cameras and microphones. Okay. They allowed tech workers thousands of miles away to access any footage. Clips are being sent for review at contact centers in Nairobi. A worker said, won't do the accent. We see everything. He'll end up Russian if I did the accent. We see everything from living rooms to naked bodies. Doing an autopsy. Imagine, I bet they know the real what's going on, don't they? They're the people sat there going, this Nicole Kidman, she's not doing it very right. Another said, there are sex scenes filmed with the glasses. Someone is wearing them having sex. And we're all thinking, why would you be wearing your Meta AI glasses to do the deed? Because it feels like, it's not going to be one of your good ones, is it? It's going to be a rushed one if you don't even take your glasses off. If you don't have your glasses off, you still keep your socks on. This is not something you want to be shown on the internet. But there's a part of me that realizes, I'm presuming these glasses have prescriptions in. I never realized as a younger person, as the Gen Zs, if you're watching this, and I know a ton of you must be watching this show, you don't realize one of the things that impacts your sex life is, what's it called? Not when you get older, there's myopic, and the one proprioception. No, that's the one with your limbs. Proprioception also impacts your sex life. The one where you get older and your lens is a bit more rigid. So the reason why you're trying to read something, you see people. I've reached the age where I'm like, hang on, all right, yeah, that's the earlier. This time last year I could read there. Now I'm there, right? I don't want to go into graphic details, but that impacts your sex life, doesn't it? You can't see what's going on and get your head this far away. Hang on, all right. No? Okay, just me. Well, there we go. You could wear the glasses they put on and put on a filter to make your partner look like Bonnie Blue. Why would I want that? Those glasses are going to be dangerous. Yeah, but you know what? You might need your prescription in. So you're up close, you can see what you're doing. Just me? Because you can't even see what it looks like, can you? You're like, oh, no? Joodles, oof. I just had the sneeze you lost. You caught something via the old internet. We take protection very seriously. Well, they do. They've got public liability insurance. Not the Scarlett Johansson fever again. Oh, you caught the Johansson fever. She gets me every time. I rolled that 2 p.m. And those glasses, we've done that one. We're up to date. There's one story left, and it's kind of related. And finally, that's upside down. Is there any way we could fix that in post? There you go. Former Countdown maths whiz, Carol Vorderman, 65, has revealed she is a thrill seeker who loves racing fast cars, all perfectly fine until this one, and playing strip chess. What am I missing about? How do you play strip chess? Poker, I get. You lose a hand, you take something off. Do you have to lose the entire game? Christ on a bike. That's going to be hours before you even get to see a nip. I mean, it doesn't seem fun. It's going to be more chess than it is nudity. I suppose you could take a piece off every time you lose a piece. Something, something, something porn is the joke I probably would have done if I put some effort into this show. Playing strip chess, at some point you get naked and then you get queened. Nope, that actually does sound like the kind of thing I'll do on my weekends. Hey, do what? Oh, I see. I think we're up to date. Strip chess. I was also going to compare this to, the chess cheating scandal where the guy apparently had a vibrating something up his Middlesbrough pocket or whatever we used to call it. She's confused. It's not strip chess. They're just checking you're not a cheat, love. You fell for it. You're turning up to these tournaments and going, oh, this is a new rule. Didn't expect this. It's because they think you're cheating. Naked Twister is much quicker, says Ems. Well, if that's what you do in your prison, then good luck to you. Horse to queen. Yep, something night, good night, twice night. Night would be a pun because of the K and the N version, the horsey, and also when you have sex. I think we've got all the jokes out of that one. Mate is a word, not at her age though. So we're done. You're up to date. Thank you very much for watching. Oh, hang on. We'll do this, haven't we?
Here are the plugs where you can see Steve and Helen all this week.
Hi, but plugs. On Friday, I'll be doing another one of these, the keyboard edition. I've had a bit of problem with the keyboard. Obviously, it made a starring appearance inside the latest music video, because I'm playing it like you wouldn't believe. I got too many USB devices. The camera I set up to be the keyboard cam. I even bothered designing a thing where every time I played the keyboard, it automatically turned on the camera, so you'd see me playing, you'd see my hand on it. I've overwhelmed my USB. My bus is struggling. But anyway, the keyboard version of this show, I didn't even plug it in today because I don't trust myself to not be tinkling on the old Joanna, which is not something I'm into. Even the young Joanna, I wouldn't know how to ask. And then I'm performing in Belper that night. Then, like a fool, I'm performing in West Bridgeford the night after. But betwixt, I'm back down to Paddington, GB News, 6 a.m. Going to look pretty rough, although I've tried to smarten up the beard. I'll be staying in another migrant hotel just to get my grammar checked. She's not my grammar, but I call her that. She's old Joanna, and we're into P-play. What has happened to this show? We're not into P-play. She's just the age where it happens. No, this is not the late night version of it. And then I'm performing in West Bridgeford. Details on that in a bit. And then Sunday, GB News 7 p.m. for Free Speech Nation. I better write some flipping jokes about the war. We'll see what happens there. Meanwhile, what are you doing over there? Join me over here. Meanwhile, look in the old comments over here. I think he's thinking of Catherine. What? Who's done what? Can you hear my stomach as well? Wow. What have I done? Who was Catherine? Are we talking about the P-play? The website for the West Bridgeford tickets isn't working. Maybe it's sold out. I don't know. It's not, is it? I'm performing there. Hey, I think I'm opening as well, not even being the headliner, which is good. I stand a chance of getting down, back down to... Oh, no, that's that night. It's Belper's the problem. And Belper I am headlining. Yeah, so I'm going to be very tired on your telly box. Straighten a bit, bear with. West Bridgeford. Closing. Sorry, I am headlining, so I'm going to be very, very tired. From Playmate to Checkmate. Nice. Yep, good. Butt plug, says Alex. Someone's woken up. Pedantic grammar. That's exactly what we needed. Your dishevelled, angrier gigs are edgier, though, Steve. Are they? Or are they just me moaning more about being tired? Not that I make a big song and dance about it. Literally made a song. There wasn't really much of a dance to it. Queen to Horse, if that's what you're into. And oops, hello, Martin. Where you flipping? Where you been at? What you been up to? You've missed an absolute treat of a show today. Even I'm impressed that I think there were at least 3 jokes in today's show. No, I know. So we're about done. That's also on the list of things I should have written, at Mr. Stephen Allen, because you can go to substack.com / at Mr. Stephen Allen. I'm trying to write some more stuff on there. I did one yesterday, but then looking at my weekend, I'll be so busy. My newspaper column for next week will literally be me nicking that one about the funeral stuff we talked about. Ko-fi.com / Mr. Stephen Allen would be very nice. I think I've just noticed someone's just given me a donation. We need a jingle. We need a flipping jingle. Got to log into my PayPal to see who it is. Yay, Single Step Media. Oh, I thank you. Plays jingle of a thank you. I'll work on that. BBC admits TV licence fee no longer fit for the future in damning report. So I think I've been saying, have I been proved right again? The flipping media. It's terrifying, isn't it? The guff I come out with gets proved right by history. It's not going to end well. Emma, I went outside in the sun while it's still around. They've got the internet out there as well, though. Martin, what have you... Buy some Bluetooth, like Kermit does. He was listening to this during the dentist. I think he went to the dentist to distract from the pain of listening to this show. And it's a good system, and I'm here for it. At Mr. Stephen Allen on basically all of the platforms. It's down there. On Twitter, I'll try to do some more clips, whatever, but I've got to go and sort out this gig in Norwich tonight. As I say, a corporate one. It's not going to go well, but you do it for the money. Speaking of which, we'll play out today by doing a little recap of the song. So if you're going to make it, you might as well play it twice. Thank you very much for watching. Tomorrow at 12. Now you're just being mean, Martin. I can't go outside and there's no sun. Yeah, the northern prison. Is it that you're in prison in the north, Ems, or is it that the north is just the prison, like going beyond the wall in Game of Thrones? Is it that? I've not been up there for a long while. Norwich. I'm gigging in Norwich, which is just slightly to the north and east of Warwich. There you go, proper memes. Warwich. 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 Frigate, mind your own business. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, which in theory should be tomorrow, bye. I need some money, I don't mean to be rude. I need some money, or I've got to buy some food. You could help out, donate a couple of quid, or maybe more, as I have to implore, I've got to feed the kids. So give me a Ko-fi, it won't take very long. Give me a Ko-fi, it's why I've done this song. In this live stream I've made a rod for my own back, 'cause no one donates. If I keep being straight, I'll have to release a track. Looking at the data, here's what I can see. No one gives me money if a song don't come from me. Having to produce these has become a big old farce. It'd be less stress to get undressed, so pictures of me ask. So give me a Ko-fi, it's time that I decide if I'll sing for Ko-fi or leave here with me pride. I think we know the answer, the things that I will do. I'll wear me hat, look like a twat for a couple of quid or two. So give me a Ko-fi, keep this show afloat. Give me a Ko-fi, a shekel or a groat. I'll say a big old thank you for supporting my web show. Have a quick think and click the link, it should be down below. Hey! Warwich.